Oke.
Sebentar Bu, 5 detik lagi kita online. Yep, online.
Oke. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon for you all. So, halo Mas Nando, Pak Samsul Irham, speakers, Mbak Granita and Mbak Juliana, and all of the audience. Hello, you guys. So, I was told that this course will be conducted in English, so we begin with English. So I'm welcoming you to Kurma Iatmi. This is the 6th course with the, very powerful topics. It's about how to build a powerful CV and managing online profile presence. So my name is Vihana Hafni, and you can call me Unai. So I will be your moderator for this afternoon. So we have two beautiful presenters today. So they are from reputable oil and gas companies. So allow me to read their CV. The first speaker is Mbak Granita. Hello, Mbak Granita. Mbak Granita has been working in HR area for about 13 years of experience, right? With 11 of it in oil and gas company, and starting the career as a consultancy company, and then continuing the career in recruitment area until now with some business partners and areas in between, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the second speaker is Mbak Juliana Laura Tampudong. She's a HR manager from Neptune Energy. Hello, Mbak Julie. So you have 21 years of working experience, quite long. So 16 years in human resources in various industry with 9 years in oil and gas sector in Vico and Core Lab. Prior to that, you was a lawyer for 5 years in one of the law office in Jakarta, and graduated from law faculty in the University of Indonesia in 1999, and also founder and chairwoman for HR Migas Community and Hustler Team and FTHR Indonesia, active member in some HR communities in Indonesia and Asia Pacific. So welcome. So before we listen to the presentation, we see the presentation, maybe for the opening, Mas Yando or Pak Samsul Irham, would you like to give some speech or welcoming speech?
Thank you, Oza. Please play the video, Oza.
Okay.
Opening video, and then followed by Mas Samsul. Thank you.
Teman-teman IATMI yang saya sayangi, saya John Hisar Simamora, Ketua IATMI 2019-2022. Sebelum saya memulai sambutan, saya mengucapkan selamat menjalankan ibadah puasa bagi teman-teman muslim. Semoga diberi kesehatan, kekuatan, dan amal ibadahnya diterima. Amin. Selanjutnya saya mengucapkan selamat datang kepada lebih dari 1.000 mahasiswa dan dosen seluruh Indonesia IATMI dengan instruktur terbaik dan merupakan leader di industri perminyakan. Di kursus ini juga kami memberikan sertifikat yang kami harapkan akan berguna untuk adik-adik mahasiswa sebagai penguat CV pada saat nanti memasuki dunia kerja. Sebelum menutup sambutan di masa pandemik seperti saat ini, saya mengingatkan kembali semua anggota IATMI, adik-adik mahasiswa, dan para dosen yang terhormat untuk tetap menjaga kesehatan. Patuhi PSBB jika berlaku di daerah kalian dan lakukan hal-hal penting seperti mencuci tangan, memakai masker, hindari keluar rumah jika tidak perlu, istirahat dan olahraga yang cukup, serta menunda mudik. Terima kasih saya sampaikan kepada instruktur yang akan mengisi acara training ini. Juga kepada Mas Yando yang mengorganize campaign ini, tim sekretariat, Kopum IATMI, dan segenap panitia Mas Samsul, Mas Hadi, Mas Beni. Jangan lupa follow Instagram dan Telegram Big Yatmi. Selamat menikmati kursus ini dan semoga ilmu ini berguna bagi kita semua. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat datang kepada semua peserta training How to Build Powerful CV and Managing Online Profile Presence such as LinkedIn. Kursus hari ini adalah rangkaian kursus Kurma Yatmi ke-6 sejak dilaksanakan pertama kali 5 Mei 2020 lalu. Nama saya Yando, Sekjen Kopum Yatmi, dan hari ini kursus Kurma dilakukan untuk para mahasiswa Indonesia, dosen dan juga profesional yang kami mix antara kursus technical seperti fracturing, cold tubing, deep water, dan juga kursus soft skills seperti tips job interview, communication skills, and now how to build CV and LinkedIn. Ilmu ini akan sangat berguna pada saat adik-adik nanti mempersiapkan diri untuk mencari pekerjaan. Rata-rata seorang recruiter itu hanya melihat suatu CV kurang dari 10 detik sebelum memutuskan untuk meneruskan membaca atau tidak. Selain itu, di zaman online seperti saat ini, identitas dan informasi tentang seseorang sangat mudah dicari lewat website. Adalah sangat penting untuk membangun citra yang baik di dunia maya seperti LinkedIn. Presenter kami hari ini adalah Ibu Juliana dan Ibu Granita, dan mereka adalah expert di bidang HR. Mereka adalah real recruiter di dunia oil and gas industry. Acara ini juga akan dibantu oleh Ibu Isfihana, dan terima kasih kami atas kesediaan ibu-ibu membagi ilmu kepada kami semua hari ini. Akhir kata, terima kasih kepada tim Sekre Oza, juga kepada Mas Hadi dan Mas Samsul atas supportnya kepada acara Kurma ini. Jangan lupa follow tinyurl.com/youtube-yatmi, tinyurl.com/telegram-yatmi, tinyurl.com/linkedin-yatmi, dan tinyurl.com/instagram-yatmi pusat. Tanpa panjang lebar lagi, saya persilakan Mas Samsul untuk meneruskan informasi tentang Kopum Yatmi dan membuka acara ini. Terima kasih.
Baik, bismillah. Saya say hello dulu kepada presenter kita yang luar biasa pagi ini, siang ini. Halo Mbak Granita dan Mbak Juliana. Terima kasih, selamat datang untuk berbagi keahlian dan pengalamannya di training Yatmi. Dan juga selamat datang Mbak Isfihana, Hafni Nur, moderator yang akan mengatur flow pertemuan kita di hari ini. Dan tentu saja selamat datang adik-adik mahasiswa peserta Kurma Online Training Kopum Yatmi. Perkenalkan, saya Samsul Irham, Ketua Kopum Yatmi, yang ditugaskan menyelenggarakan training-training di Yatmi. Banyak sebetulnya training yang biasa kami selenggarakan di Yatmi, dan kami kelompokkan menjadi 8 jenis training. Yang pertama adalah Yatmi Regular Training, kemudian Yatmi In-House Training, ini adalah bentuk tradisional dari training kami yang diselenggarakan di beberapa kota atau di kantor-kantor dari K3S. Kemudian ada Yatmi Coffee Break, ini khasnya Yatmi dengan tempat yang santai, suasananya di kafe-kafe kita adakan. Kemudian ada Yatmi Certification Engineer, ini adalah kerjasama SPI dengan Yatmi. Kemudian ada Yatmi Technical Discussion, Ini kerjasama IATMI dengan SKK Migas, kita selenggarakan sekali sebulan di SKK Migas. Kemudian yang baru adalah IATMI Konsultan dan IATMI Peer Review, di mana tenaga-tenaga ahli dari IATMI melakukan konsultansi dan pekerjaan-pekerjaan proyek di K3S maupun di lembaga pemerintah. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah IATMI Online Training, seperti yang sekarang kita nikmati. Dan ini cocok dalam keadaan sekarang, di mana kita bisa lakukan apapun selama jaringan internet tersedia. Nah, adik-adik semuanya tentu hari ini sungguh sangat beruntung Anda dapatkan training online gratis dari IATMI dengan seperti biasa, instruktur-instruktur yang telah sangat berpengalaman, dan insya Allah akan bermanfaat bagi adik-adik semuanya nanti akan menggantikan kami di industri migas. Khusus untuk Mbak Granita, Mbak Juliana, dan Mbak Isfihana, sekali lagi terima kasih dari saya pribadi dan atas nama Kopum IATMI atas kesempatan ini, dan semoga menjadi amal yang bermanfaat bagi Anda semuanya. Oke adik-adik semuanya, jangan lupa jaga kesehatan dan bantu orang lain untuk juga tetap sehat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Pak Samsul Irham untuk sambutannya. So again, we will begin in English and I will read it again about the CV of the presenter. The first presenter is Mbak Granita. So Mbak Granita has been working in HR about 13 years in experience, 11 years in oil and gas industry, starting career in consultancy company and then continuing the career in recruitment area until now with some business partner areas in between. And then the second speaker is Mbak Juliana Laura Tampudong, the HR manager from Neptune Energy, 21 years of working experience, 16 years work at human resources in various industry with 9 years in oil and gas sector at FICO, Indonesia, and Corlab. Prior to that, was a lawyer for 5 years in one of the law office in Jakarta. So Mbak Julie graduated from law faculty, University of Indonesia in 1999. She is the founder and chairwoman of HR Migas Community, Hustler Teams at FTHR Indonesia, and also active member in some HR communities in Indonesia and Asia Pacific. So those are your speakers for today. So let me, maybe I will read first the rule of game for if you want to. So I think the presenter will present the material for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then all of you can ask in Zoom with using a raise hand, and then also you can also chat in Zoom or YouTube. Okay, so that's it. I think we will begin with the first presenter. So Mbak Granita, the floor is yours. Okay. Yeah, Mbak Granita, I think is still muted.
So I will start the presentation. Okay. Okay, so I think it's already visible, my presentation, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Unai, for the opening today, and hello everyone, good afternoon. Thank you also to IATMI who has arranged the online training with me, Granita, as the speaker, and hope that what I would like to share today will be beneficial for all of us here. So in this event, I would like to share about building a powerful CV, how you can sell yourself in a piece of paper, which may support you to reach your goals, whether you want to be in a company or maybe you want to get a scholarship in this case. Okay. Okay, as per explained by Ibu Unai in the first place that my name is Garnita. I was graduated from Psychology University of Indonesia, and I've been working in oil and gas industry as HR for more than 11 years, which mostly experiencing in recruitment area. And in between, I was also handling a business partner in the transition phase from project development to operation stage. I've been working for European and also Asian oil and gas companies during my 11 years. And before my career in oil and gas, I was joining a consultancy industry as a recruitment as well. So further about my profile, you can see my LinkedIn, Granita Sudarso. Okay. Okay, so before I start the presentation, let me give you an illustration about two young graduates who would like to apply for the same position in a big company. So the first one, we call it A. A was graduated with a summa cum laude from reputable university with GPA 4. In Indonesian standard, it means that a straight A student and about to apply in a C company, which has become his target since in college. So A was trying to write down a CV with the delightful words, but seems to be cliche, like saying that I'm smart and also I'm very talented, anything, and he emphasized only about the GPA. And then the other person, B, was graduated with an average GPA of 3, who was also coming from the same university, and then he was trying to write the CV with the more comprehensive mentioning about the experiences when he was doing the apprentice or internship, and then both and the CV is quite detailed on that. Okay, because he knows that his GPA is in the average, so he was trying hard to write the CV in the details. And then, of course, there's a process called screening CV by recruiters before they were being called by company for an interview. And then A and B were coming to the interview session in the C company. Both has, but B was able to show more what he has written in the CV by explaining it very clear. And by the end of the day, B B was successfully accepted in the company while A was not accepted. Okay. This is only a brief example how a good CV in the company also can influence how company choose the suitable person. Okay, from the illustration I mentioned above, there's a contribution of your CV as well in determining the company to choose the right candidates. A good CV may help recruiter very well and lead you to the success in it. So thus a good CV may not only help yourself, but also the recruiter in the company. A good and detailed CV may be detected very well, and moreover, the power of having good interview may support it as well. So there's a quote. This is a research conducted by Top Resume back in 2018, and this is published by Business News Daily. That 70% of employers say that something like missing contact information or unprofessional email address were enough to reject the candidate, even before finish reading all the documents. So how sadly it will be if it has happened to us. And of course, this is something that we can avoid from the beginning. Okay, so here's the agenda of my presentation today that I would like to show first about the quotes related to the CV, and then the definition, recommended contents, principles, types of CV, preparing the writing the CV. like to share to you. So sometimes people put everything in the CV, including something that might be irrelevant. That is this is the extreme situation that someone is putting the information that he went to Harvard, but unfortunately, he was only visiting his friend. So this is something that you should not tell in the CV or also in the interview, because this is irrelevant and nothing to do with your experience also. So don't be like this. There's a simple quote mentioning that your CV may only be looked at just for 6 seconds. The meaning of this quote actually is you have to prepare your CV very well, let your CV talks about yourself. Don't give too much information, but sufficient enough for recruiter to judge about it. The rest of it, it will depend on your interview. We have other session of online training, so I don't have to explain more about the interview. So let's concentrate on the how to make the CV itself. Okay, so now let's get into the definition of CV itself. A CV, it's coming from Latin words curriculum vitae, is an in-depth document that can be laid out over 2 or more pages, and it contains a high level about your achievement, a great deal more than just a career biography. So it contains education as well as any other accomplishment like publications, awards, honors, etc. So for those who has working experience, CVs typically include information like work experience, achievements, and awards during your work, but you can also inform about the scholarship or maybe grants that you've earned during the work, coursework, research projects, or any trainings that you ever attended while you were working. So actually CV reflects the outer. Why? Because CV will be the first get of the recruiter to determine the selected candidates. It can reflect the personality, but of course, we as recruiter will not judge in the early about this because the personality itself should be reflected in the interview. So it is not used as the screening in terms of personality in the beginning, but but what you have written already information will be the basis of the screening itself. Okay, so I would like to explain the difference of CV and resume. This is only about terms. Actually, the term CV itself differ with resume. The usage terms as well as the writing style in each country may affect which one is being used for the job application. So in our country, I think CV is more familiar to be in the job application. And actually, CV is not the same with resume as the definition itself. So this is the definition of resume. A resume is a concise document, typically not longer than 1 page, as the intended the reader will not dwell on your document for very long. The goal of a resume is to make an individual stand out from the competition. So bear in mind that there are 2 types of documents of showing your history with CV and resume. So resume actually is the short version of your CV. It is not mentioned in detail about your employment history, but more into 1 page highlight about yourself. So a resume doesn't have to be ordered chronologically. If you see in the left side, it's the curriculum vitae, it's chronologically, and doesn't have to cover your whole career, and it's more into like the summary of your career itself. Okay. Okay, so the next in application letter. So application letter is also different with CV, but this is part of the CV itself. CV is the history of yourself, while the application letter is a page of paper which show your interest or intention to apply for certain position. So by definition itself, application letter is another name for a cover letter, the official business letter often included with a job application and or resume and sent to a prospective employer. So more about the application letter that I get from the same website with the definition. So although application letter are generally considered as additional components for applying a job, but more frequently employers are deciding someone who has who's taking the time more to write an application letter as their topics. Why? Because it seems that he knows already what he wants to apply, and he already tried to find some information and try to make the summary also about themselves. And in some company, like my current company, actually it is requiring the candidate to make an application letter because it will show the applicant's interest. So let's say if later on we would like to shift the application to another position, we have to ask the candidate first whether he will agree or not. And then for sure, it will be for audit matter in the future that the candidate is really applying for the position. So here's the sample of the application letter that I have. I'm giving you this example. This is very simple one, but I think this is very good because it is capturing all of the purpose for the application letter itself. For the title on top, I don't think we need to put it application letter or not, because this is not mandatory one for the title. And then you can start by explaining what position you are applying and where's the source of the information, where do you know, how do you know about the job itself. And then you can start by explaining what position you are now right now, and then about the background, but only for the summary, the simple and short. So by the end of the letter, say thank you or regards, and then put your name below on it actually. So below the thank you, it should be, you should written your name also. Okay. Okay, next is the types of CV. Actually, there are 3 types of CV. The first one is chronological. So chronological is the CV that is written in chronological, starting from the name until the least private information to be shown in CV. Can be shown for those who apply within the same industry or still for the same position. This one is actually the most favorite one for both applicant and also recruiter. Why? Because for recruiter, it is easy to find the information. If you write everything in chronological, you can know about the position, the career progression itself. And then the second type is functional. Functional is showing the summary of expertise or skill that you have. The emphasis itself more into the skill and the expertise instead of the chronological order. And this type of CV will be benefit who wants to do cross-industry or maybe the cross-function. Okay. And then the third one is the combination of chronological and functional. So the combination of both chronological and functional, which will be benefit for those who has already gained a lot of working experiences, and for those who has no employment gaps also. And so it's not really suitable for those with little experience actually, or maybe someone who has already gap, quite big gap, because you will be asked why there's a gap in your employment history. Okay. Okay, and this is for the difference of those 3 types of CV itself. In chronological, on the left side, you can see that the sequence of your education and working experience is the thing that you would like to show in chronological, from the recent one until the last one. And then while in the functional, in the middle, you only mention about the skills or related experience rather than put it in the sequence. But you're still mentioning about your career history, but it's still it's only short explanation below the function itself. And then for the combination, you put both information in the paper to make it clearer, but you may see that the paper is being full of the information. I'm not saying that it will confuse the recruiter, but you have to remember about the 6 seconds rules that I have already explained before, that only 6 seconds sometimes we see the CV. Why? Because we only see what the keywords of your CV, whether it will match with our requirements or not. Okay, and for the recommended contents, actually a good CV may consist of detailed information as shown in the slides. First, name. Of course, you have to put your name on the CV as a sign that the CV belongs to you. Date of birth or age. For some countries, maybe it seems to be discriminative to put age, but in our country, Indonesia, it is common to put age, especially for some positions. For example, some companies who are looking for management trainee requires fresh graduate whose age not more than certain ages, or maybe not more than, I don't know, 30 or 25, with the background of the learning capacity itself from the individual. And then the third one is the nationality. This might be not important if you are applying for a domestic company, but if you apply to other countries and willing to be an expatriate, this is the most important thing to mention, because it will affect about the budget of the company that you are applying for, and also their ability to handle the working permit, and whether the position is open for the expatriate or not. Okay, and then this is not about the discriminative case, but in our country, sometimes we might not process further the candidates who's coming from certain nationalities due to working permit issues. Okay, and then next is the contact details, phone, email, and home address. This is very important, because if you have a willingness to be followed up by the company, or at least you have to put your phone and email address so the company will be easier to contact you. So home address might not be common recently, but from my experience, some government institutions or government-owned company are still using snail mail in sending the notification to you or the announcement to your home address. So for those, especially for the college student who might be still living in a boarding or rented room nowadays, you might be a bit confused which address that you will put in your CV. If I may suggest, just put both address, but you have to indicate which one is the preference for communication channel. Okay. So next is the education background or certification. You have to show your education background and specific certification required by the position that you are applying, because this will be beneficial, and sometimes certification can be one of the requirements for certain positions, such as SGM might be needs someone who has PTK 007 or LSP certificate, and also maybe for some of the technical positions, this is also something that you have to mention about the certification. Okay. Okay, the next is professional experience. So if you are still a fresh graduate, you can put about your internship or apprentice experience. You may also mention about the training that you ever attended, especially ones that are related with the applied position. So don't put a lot of training experience, but it's not related with your application actually. And then next is organization experience. So mention about your activity in the organization. You may also mention about the detail of the position and also about the work that you have done, but you don't have to explain in detail about the work itself. Maybe you can highlight about the achievement or maybe the contribution in the organization. Okay. And next is achievement and or publication. If you have, let's say, your thesis or maybe your final work, you can put it in your CV and be more specific about your contribution on it. So don't be just too simple saying about the title, but you can explain a little bit or the summary itself of your project. And then last but not least is about the personal information, which includes marital status, hobbies, etc. I put it in the last section since this is not mandatory from my point of view. Maybe for Some companies might say that this is mandatory, but some might say that mentioning about the marital status, religion, or any personal information may cause discrimination as well. But some might be okay to put it, such as for, let's say, you are applying for the management training. Sometimes the company requires single candidate instead of the married candidates. Why? Because it's related to the benefits that they will accept. And a shift working position, sometimes for the shift working position, we might need a team who are quite various in the religion point of view, so that it will be easier to maintain about the shift itself. Okay. Okay. Next about the principles. As mentioned in the illustration part in the beginning of the presentation, that a powerful CV combined with good presentation. Explain further about what is written in your CV. It means that good presentation in the interview itself, it means that you are accepted for a job. Being accepted, maybe not only a job, but also a scholarship if you want to pursue the master degree or maybe the higher degree. And in making powerful CV, the main thing you have to consider is being honest and as is. So do not ever try to put the wrong information or maybe lie about your CV, which might not belong to you, because in the interview we will ask about it, and you have to make your own CV to know what will be presented in the selection process. So don't ask others to make your CV, because maybe you don't know about what is your friend's rights in the CV itself. Okay. Okay, so this is actually how CV differs in each country. You may see in this slide that even each country has their own preference, whether using the form of CV or resume. Photograph to be shown or not also as a preference. For the writing style also, most of the countries are using formal approach, unless for China, who is using a persuasive approach, while Japanese is somehow using the handwritten. It really interests me actually, because maybe they still use their own alphabet, and there might be one of the consideration to be accepted. I don't know, but this is only my guess actually. And from my experience, Indonesia itself is more into like UK style in offering. The UK might not reveal about the personal information, but in Indonesia, it's common to mention about our age, marital status, religion, and anything that you put in the CV. Okay. Okay, last but not least of this presentation, I would like to share information about the do's and don'ts in writing the CV. For the do's itself, be concise. So make your CV summarizing your career journey, or for fresh graduates, summarize the skills that you have prepared for the work life, and remember about the 6 seconds rule. So don't be too long to write about this, but be concise. And then next is clear. To be clear in making a statement in your CV, so not blur and not using the unfamiliar words to avoid misunderstanding from the recruiter side. Okay, and then use verbs instead of saying a person. In mentioning about your experience or skill, use the verb word, such as able to do something instead of I am doing blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then build your experience, start from the recent one. In mentioning the education background or work experience, put the most recent one, as this might be something that is more related to the applied position. If it is not, still put the recent one as the first. And then also for the education, it will be okay to mention about the recent one also. And then next, write down your list of accomplishment and be honest on that. So just write about your experience, but not others. So let's say if you have any contribution in your team, you can mention about the contribution itself, and you can make it as achievement. Okay. And then the last don'ts is about check and recheck before submitting your CV. Please do check and recheck. Don't let misspell or grammar appear in your CV because actually there is no specific deadline for your CV. You can start from now to make your CV. A job posting may have a deadline, but it will be good to prepare earlier, as early as possible. Maybe you can start now also, even though maybe there's no job opening at the moment. And then once there's a job opening, you have already ready, you've been ready with your CV, and then you just send it. Okay. And the next about the don'ts. Okay, the don'ts is, as I mentioned, it's about the mistype or grammatical error. Why? Because it's not good, because this can be a sign that you might not check again about your CV. You might be a bit clumsy about this. And then photograph. Actually, this is only the preference from my side, because in our industry, I think we are not the frontliners. So photograph, it's not really useful until you are being asked by the company. But sometimes from my experience, especially in my current candidate, I don't know why, because but it doesn't have any effect in the deciding the candidate to be interviewed or not, actually. Okay. And then too long or too short. Too long, we don't have any longer time. Recruiter remember about the 6 seconds time, 6 seconds that we have the limited time to see your CV. And then too short. Why not too short? Because if it is too short, we don't know any information about yourself. Maybe you only mention about the position itself, but you don't be specific about the daily activity that you do in that position. So actually make the highlight of your CV, of your experience, and also about your contribution. Okay, put testimonials. So this is something that you don't have to do in the CV, because I think testimonials will be more suitable if you put it in the social media like LinkedIn. And to make your CV concise, do not put this, you may put this in other media, but not your CV. Okay, use cliche. Cliche actually using a jargon or adjective to describe yourself, like this: I'm smart and everything. It will be better to explain about your contribution rather than you mention about your strong point of this. Okay, I think it's a wrap from myself. I will share the final tips that I got from the getreskilled.com. There are some ways to make this strong killer CV. So get to know your own experience, employment history, put all the relevant experience in your CV. Do not let them behind. These all the selling points of yourself, and recruiter would like to see your relevance with the vacant position. Pick a job and analyze the job advertisement before applying. Analyze first about the company as well as the position. Make sure you will be comfortable to work with this company and also with this position. Do not let yourself trap in this position or maybe company that you don't like. You can browse the information through Google or maybe ask to your family about this. Okay, set a rough CV. So before you are really making your CV, make a draft before you making the real one. Thanks God that now we have the computer technology that you can easily erase and also retype again what you want to type in your CV. And then get the presentation right. Make sure no grammatical error or you put the wrong information on the paper. Make sure that if it is printed in a clear paper, not the teared or maybe the dirty paper. Okay, analyze everything using the STAR approach. So I will not explain actually the detail about the STAR approach itself, but I will write on about the STAR stands for situation, task, activity, and also the result. So the situation describe about the position, task describe about what you do, and then activity describe about how you achieve some task or maybe some achievement that you mentioned in the CV, and then the result, how was the result? Did you manage to get the achievement or not? Okay. Check your presentation again. So again, before finish making it, check again. And then time to review the CV, you can ask your friend or maybe your family to review the CV and then make the changes if there's any changes. And then last but not least, of course, you have to submit your CV to the application to the job vacancy itself. Okay. Okay, that's all the presentation. Thank you very much. Good luck for making the CV. And also because this is still Syawal, so happy Eid Mubarak. Mohon maaf lahir batin. Thank you very much, Mbak Unai. So now the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mbak Granita. It's a very powerful presentation. So strong killer CV, right? I think I have the key point there. And
Yes.
you have to be genuine. So, okay, before we continue to the second speakers, Mbak Julie, maybe you can we can have like 2 or 3 questions, or maybe we just continue to Mbak Julie.
Maybe we can continue first, yeah, Bu Unai,
Okay.
yeah, and then
Okay.
we can have later on about the questions and
Okay.
answer
Okay.
session.
Thank you, Mbak
Yeah.
Granita. So, without further ado, the time is yours, Mbak Julie.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Unai. Hi, everyone. Selamat sore. I will share my screen first. Wait a second. Okay, and this is my... Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. As discussed with Mas Yando, first, I would like to introduce about the HR Migas community. I'm here to represent HR Migas community. So it only takes maybe less than 1 minute. Yeah. So we are the community of human resources practitioners and professional in the industry. So from the upstream sectors, midstream, downstream, and services, we are having a discussion in the WhatsApp group, and we are established 2 years ago. So we will be having our second anniversary this year. This is our logo, and this is our vision and purpose. Sorry, maybe you cannot see this. Okay. So this is our vision and purpose. So we want to meet the industry needs and share the discuss HR Migas issues also for networking and empowering our members. And the most important is this is the community-based learning, less cost, because now it's very challenging to have a training budget. So we keep learning, but we learn through the community. Okay, and this is our core team, 8 of us. And yeah, so this is some of our members. To date, there are, I think it's already more than 90 members. This has not been updated in the last 1 week. So yeah, this is our activities. I'm going to be quick. This is the 2020 highlight. I just realized that so many that we have done actually. So if you want to follow us in Instagram, you follow at HR Migas community. Yeah, thank you. And now I'm going to get into my, okay. This is my material now. Okay, developing online professional presence. Why it is online professional presence? Because I talked to Mas Yando. I think if we mention about LinkedIn, it seems like I'm selling a LinkedIn. But anyway, after I having a review, the online professional presence for the online platform for the professional presence currently that I know is LinkedIn. I don't know if you know any other platform other than LinkedIn for professional like us. Yeah. So okay. So here is introduction of myself. So it's already done. Why online professional presence? So I think my presentation this time is only completed what Granita has presented just previously. So besides hard copy resume, you also need to build the online professional presence. I would strongly suggest that you have the account of in online, and currently what we have is, I think it's LinkedIn. Yeah, so build your professional presence there. You want. Why? Because it's fast and it's easy. Why I say it's easy, because you just only need to fill in the field that they already provide. So you just fill in with your information, and it's fast. For example, if I'm in the current needs to recruit, when I was working for Core Lab, I got an urgent need to recruit for lab analyst. So I will find from LinkedIn, and I just use my the keyword, and then I found. So for example, I would like to search someone from petroleum engineering background. So I just search the petroleum engineering, and then there you go, all the people with the petroleum engineering background. And after that, I will see which one is having a very impressive, that I want to pick up my phone and then call him or her. So that's fast and easy. And what you need to put in your online professional presence. First is the personal details, of course. And Granita also has mentioned your personal details and contact information. So make sure that you have your email address, you have your phone number, the correct phone number. Sometimes people are changing phone numbers and forget to update in the CV, in the online presence, yeah, in the online platform. So maybe you don't want to put your phone number in the online platform. It's okay, but at least your email should be um, there, so so recruiter know how to reach you. And my suggestion is that um, your email address should be your name. So don't use funny names such as fly me to the moon at hotmail.com, or chubbyman at gmail.com. No, just put your name. If your name is, for example, Granita Surarso at gmail.com, something like that. Yeah. Or your name, I read some names over the participants, like Irfan Maulana. So you just put your name. So don't use any funny name, jokes, other weird. It's unique, but for the professional relation, I don't think that's proper. Yeah, and make sure your phone number should be reachable. And second is put in the online platform, there is a field where you can put your picture there. Put your professional picture. If Granita mentioned in the CV, maybe not all requires a professional picture, but actually a picture will give a hint. For example, sometimes the name of Budi, it could be a female or a male, for example. So if you put picture, oh, I know this is a woman or this is a man. Yeah. But put the professional picture. Don't put your selfie picture in bed, in bed like, and then uh, and then when you and don't and use the proper clothes. So you young top, and don't put a family picture. Don't put family picture in your online platform. Just your picture. Don't put a picture with your friends on holiday. It's good maybe, but for this professional, you need to build your presence properly. Yeah. So put your proper professional picture. So when I was looking for um, candidate in LinkedIn, for example, if this person does not do not have the picture, I cannot imagine. But my preference will be those with pictures, so I know at least. Yeah. First, I know whether it's a he or a she, and I know uh, from the picture at least uh, I know what they I can imagine what this person are. Uh, of course, with reading all what she or he is presented in the LinkedIn profile. And then personal headline. This is also important. So in the online platform, you will find that there is a field where you can put your personal headline. So it's like a summary of yourself. So highlight in the personal headline, highlight what you are good at. So if you are a petroleum engineer or you are a geologist, so highlight what you are good at, and then you can make what is it? You can make the statement like you are a key player, you have initiate something, you have done research, for example. Yeah, but um, highlight what you are good at and find your differentiator. It's important because when the recruiter try to find your profile and then see the highlight, see your personal headline, if it is impressive, of course, um, you will get the opportunity at least to be contacted. All we all we all we need is actually that um, we can be contacted by a recruiter. See, and so with this online professional presence, the impressive one, if you have the impressive professional presence, at least you can get contacted. And after that, you still have your homework, how to present yourself to the recruiter, right? Also, there are career objective. It's important. Granita also has mentioned be clear. So be clear where you want to go. Yeah, what's your objective? Um, at this time being, the oil industry is um, quite suffer. So, so the logic is, if you can buy the oil and gas with cheaper price, why should you produce the oil and gas? So it's like yeah, it's not in a good shape. It's not in a good condition, but it doesn't mean that you cannot build your career in the energy or in the oil and gas industry. But maybe you have to think also your career objective, not only to become a petroleum engineer. You start to think other orientation of career. So it's important to learn, to relearn and unlearn something. Yeah. The educational background, this is easy. So if you are graduated from the university, graduated from any educational institution, just put there your educational background, what year you graduate, it's important. And the next is the work experience or organizational experience. For you who have already have the work experience, for example, 3 years, it's easy for you to put in there your work experience. But I'm sure we have also many fresh graduates here attending this session. You maybe don't have work experience at the moment, but I'm sure that you have the organizational experience. So if you active in like the institution like IATMI or other students institution initiative, put your experience or organizational experience there. For example, like if you have complete an internship in any company, you can put there what did you do, and then also for a voluntary work. So like this COVID-19 situation, the government or some institutions are opening for a voluntary basis, something to help the hospital, to help the what is it, the medical team. Yeah, if you have joined that, put your voluntary experience in your professional presence. Yeah, in your professional um, in the online platform of the professional presence. And yeah, so it's important because we want to know what have you experienced, your working relationship, your organizational experience. It's important because it has no difference when you working in a company. So yeah, so to understand that, you need to put that in your online presence, um, so that the recruiter understand and know what you have been going through. And also highlight skills and knowledge. This is important. um, if you are fresh graduates, you can highlight what you have learned in campus or what skills you are good at. This is important. And sometimes maybe our people are like like you know um, does not have the courage to admit that you are good at something. uh, I think this is not the time to do that. If you are not sure that you are good at something, you can ask your friend. You can also maybe taking some what is it, to know your strength. What is your strength? So you have to understand yourself and then highlight that skills and knowledge that you are good at. This is important. Yeah. And also your achievement or certifications. If you say that I don't have any achievement or certifications, have you been ever write a journal, leading organization, or maybe leading a voluntary activities? That could be also included in your online professional presence. Yeah, so this is important. Yeah, so that you make yourself impressive, that a recruiter or maybe a headhunter, when they see your professional presence, they want to call you. So that's what you need to build. So I think this is also um, you need to build. I think I will not elaborate much on these slides because Granita has already mentioned. So you need to write resume according to your situation. Also, the online professional presence that you need to build, you need to build that according to your situation. Whether you have whether you have no experience, which means you just graduate from the university, whether you have the employment gaps, or it is an entry level resume, or you are still students in the last semester, for example, you can build the CV or your resume as well, or you are in the internship right now, or you are in the mid career, you want to change career. So yeah, you have to put effort in when you want to be when you want to be a good candidate. Yeah, you have to put effort and you have to always adjust your CV. But I think in the online platform, yeah, you can also play with that. And in the online platform, you can use the Granita has mentioned about the what is it, testimony. So you can ask either your friends, your lecturer, or someone that can endorse you, someone that can put a testimony about you. Yeah, so anyone that you trust, you can use that fields. It will be helpful. Yeah, to make your presence to be to be more impressive. And also, remember, when you have that impressive professional presence, it doesn't mean that you can easily get the job, because it's just a start that you are impressive and I want to call you. And after that, you still have the homework on how you present yourself. And in LinkedIn, I would suggest, um, if you already built the your online presence, you have to also engage your connection. So start also to, if you are not writing any articles, that's fine, but start to what is it? Start to maybe forwarding articles that you like. It shows your interest. Yeah. So at least once a week. Yeah. For fresh graduates, this is the professional experience. This is the example of CV that I found, and this is very impressive to me. Yeah. So this is the fresh graduates. So the professional experience. He or she mentioned about becoming the lecturing assistant, lab assistant while in campus, and has the organizational experience, and also have the volunteer experience. Yeah. Uh, she also has the honors and awards and also certifications. So for me, this is very impressive. I will call at least this person. And don't forget to be creative. I think after all that have been presented to you, you need to be creative. The creativity is one of the skill required in 2020 and 2025 by the World Economic Forum. This is example of the creative CV. I already got the permission from Yoris Sebastian, if you know him, the founder and the owner of the OMG Creative Consulting. This is for the consulting, but I found this very, very creative. The CV is in the form of the cake. So if you see, that's the name of the candidate, and then she mentioned about her achievement, and also the dark side, and the cheesy side. The cheese is representing the bright side of her. Yeah. So this is a very creative. Maybe you can think something like this, maybe not in the form of cake, because if you want to submit your resume in the oil and gas industry, but think of something creative. Yeah. And now people also like to create a video resume. So boost your creativity. It's important. You have this framework to create CV, but also use your creativity and unleash your creativity on paper or in an online platform. Can we now see the Oza? Could you help me to
Hi everyone,
share the video,
my
to
name
watch
is
the
Daisy.
video?
I'm a communications professional with 13 years of experience, and welcome to my video CV. So let me first tell you something about myself. My name is Daisy, and I'm 36 years old. I'm married, and I'm a mom of 2 beautiful children. In my free time, I love to travel, create, and smile. My roots lie in Indonesia, but I was born and raised in Holland. That's where I spent most of my life. I've always been an artsy kid, and that's why I ended up studying advertising, communications, and design. I learned to expand my understanding of communications. but I also learned design thinking, theories of powerful softwares to turn my ideas into reality. I speak 5 languages: English, Dutch, Indonesian, German, and a little bit of French. I am a communication specialist with 13 years of experience. I have experience in the field of external, internal, digital, and online comms. And now I'm open for some new opportunities. And I'm hoping to get your help, an opportunity to contribute, to grow, enhance my skills, but most importantly, an opportunity that allows me just to do what I love. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know more about me? Just check out my CV. Hope to talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so thanks, Oza. Yeah, so boost your creativity. If I to date I never seen I never received any video when I recruit any candidates. So maybe you can start with one. Yeah. Okay. And creative Albert Einstein mentioned that creativity is intelligence having fun. So have fun with your intelligence. Yeah. So I would like to have more discussion, maybe. So the point is, before anything else, if you want to create your CV, you want to create your online professional presence, you have to be, yeah, that is the process, yeah. If you have prepared, you have more confidence, and it is the key to success. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbak Julie. It's a very thoughtful and very creative, yeah. So what I highlight here is the online presence is about branding yourself, and then you can seek opportunity and experiences from your college organization, professional communities, and present it online and be creative and maybe use some videos. Okay, so thank you for the presentation. So we are now open for the Q&A session. So all of you can give us questions. So I think there is a lot of question here. I saw the question in chat room. And also you can raise your hand if you want to ask directly to the speakers. So, okay, maybe for a start, I will read the first questions. Is actually from YouTube. Muhammad Ismi Afif. Hello. So maybe this is questions for Mbak Granita. So can we put references person who ever worked with us, like our dean, our docent, or our chief? Okay.
Okay, so actually feel free to put the references in your CV, but not the testimonials. So not the details about what the person's saying about you, but just put the name. It's sufficient enough. But if you want to put the contact number, feel free. But we as recruiter, when we want to contact the referee, of course, we will ask the confirmation first to the candidate and then contact them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So this is the second question. Dear Mbak Granita, can you please elaborate what kind of achievement that fresh graduate put on CV? Thank you.
Okay, actually for achievement, it's something that related to maybe about your education or professional work that you had so far. So let's say you had attended the seminar and in that seminar, maybe you brought let's say like thesis or paper or anything, you can share the information and you can categorize it as the achievement, and it will be beneficial for the achievement, let's say for the paper that you presented in the organization, that will be more beneficial for you. So anything that is related to the professionalism, yeah, actually. But let's say if you have the achievement also in other things, let's say you are the part of the basketball team player, or maybe you have already won the badminton or anything, you can put it also, but it's not something that relevant, but we can see, or maybe we can dig more information in the interview about your teamwork or anything.
Okay. Okay. Right. The next question is, I think this is from Wisnu Wicaksono. I think this is not only for Mbak Granita, but also for Mbak Julie. Yeah. If a person is working not in oil and gas industry, is possible to get job in oil and gas by applying to oil and gas industry. As long as I learn of an industrial for engineer aspect, oil and gas is the most advanced. Maybe you can have like opinion for that, Mbak Julie first, and then Mbak Julie first, then Mbak Granita.
Okay. Is it possible to get a job in oil and gas if you are coming from the non-oil? Yeah, is it the question, right?
Yes,
If a
yes.
person is working not in oil and gas, yeah. So I think I'm the example. I don't know Granita, her career in the consultant, and then moved to oil and gas industry, right? And same
Yes.
as myself. So nothing is impossible actually. So it's possible to get a job in the oil and gas industry, as long as you have the competency, you have the confidence, and your communication skill is good. Yeah, it's the powerful 3C I got. Yeah.
Okay, okay, thank you. Maybe Mbak Granita, you can
Okay.
add. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, of course, it is possible as long as the position itself is open for non-oil and gas. So let's say for the reservoir engineer, I believe that it has to be applied for the someone who's coming from oil and gas only. But let's say for SGM or maybe HR, finance, it's still open for non-oil and gas as long as the basic skill required in the position is matched with your profile actually. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. All right. So we move to another question. See, this is from Septian Pratama. Dear Miss Granita and Miss Juliana, could you tell us more about applicant tracking system or ATS CV and how to pass the administration process with ATS? So maybe Mbak Granita first.
Okay, so actually, I've been not really familiar with the ATS itself because, as far as my career, I've never been in a company that using ATS like this. But I know that maybe some of the big companies or maybe international company in Middle East are using this kind of things, the applicant tracking system. But the key word of the applicant tracking system is, of course, they would require someone who is really matched with the requirements. So let's say you are the position required an engineering graduates, and then you are not coming from engineering, so you must be rejected, of course. And let's say the position required someone with 10 years of experience, but then you only have 2 years of experience, or maybe fresh graduate, of course, automatically you will be rejected. So actually, in applying the position, you have to see first about the requirement itself, whether it has been matched with you or not. So you will not be rejected, because I think it's applicant tracking system is something that systemized and it's like a robot. So it's not it's literally only looking at the CV. You are having 10 years of experience. It's required 10 years, so you will match, and etc. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so Mbak Julie, maybe anything you want to ask to add? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I agree with Granita. So if you want to pass the ATS, you need to pay attention with the requirement, of course. So for example, the position requires a candidate with 10 years experience, while your experience is only 2 or 3 years. It's yeah, it's quite difficult to pass that, yeah, the requirement. But you don't want to lie either. The position required years experience. You have 3 years experience, and then in order to pass the ATS, then you put the information that you have been 10 years experience. No, I think in trying to get a job, you have to be authentic, you have to be original, you have to be, of course, honest. Yeah, because it's important. Once the candidate find that you are not honest with all the information that you give, then yeah, I don't think I don't think you will succeed in any organization.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's okay. Anyway, that's a system. That's only a system. If I want to find a candidate through that system, it's still possible that I can look at other candidates that maybe. So my understanding, the ATS is only making the urutan. Yeah, so that's I think just pay attention to the requirement
Okay.
and be.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I think I will unmute Mas Rizky Sanjaya. Maybe there is a you want to ask something. Maybe you can ask with bahasa actually. So
Okay,
maybe
thank you for the opportunity. Such a great presentation
floor is
from
yours, Mas
Mbak
Rizky.
Julie and
Yeah.
Mbak Granita. Actually, I have question from both of for Mbak Julie and Mbak Granita. The first one is for Mbak Granita. Regarding the type CV you have showed earlier, there's plenty of CV template in internet such as Canva or something like that, right? My question is, which is better for applying job? I mean, like, I was wondering types of CV that recruiter may looking for. It is the colorful one, or is just simple one like the black and white CV in your slide? And is it okay to make 2 CV pages instead of 1 because of the 6-second rules that you have mentioned? I'm afraid they don't have the time to see my second page. That's my question for Mbak Granita and for Mbak Julie. Regarding the online professional presence, when I'm being connected with, let's say, factoring engineer or HR manager in LinkedIn, and saw them look at my profile, is it proper to ask them a question in LinkedIn message? Something like things they have posted or about their company or job vacancies in their company or something like that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So right, maybe Mbak Granita first.
Okay. Okay. For the first question is about the type of CV. Which one is easier to be looked? Yeah, risky. It
Yes.
means yeah.
Is
Okay.
it colorful or black?
Colorful
pages?
black and
Yeah.
white. Actually, if you want to put it colorful, don't put the color that might be, let's say, seems to be impolite, like red font. It seems like impolite. So it will be better to use the neutral tone of the CV, but it's still readable. So let's say for the font with the black font will be preferable instead of gray, because if it is gray, it will not be easier to be read. And if it is colorful, it depends on the position also. So let's say if you are applying for a designer or maybe position that for the creative works, it will be better to use the colorful ones. But for let's say like in our industry, I think it will be better to use the black and white. And also about the size of the file itself, if it is colored, I think the size will be bigger also. So consider first about the position that you are applying in the industry itself, whether it is for the creative industry or maybe the industry like us. Yeah. Okay. So and
Okay.
then For the second question, it's about the 2-page. Is it okay or not? There is no not okay for mentioning about how many pages that you want to show. As long as that's your CV and it's explaining very well. And if you want to highlight something in your CV regarding your experiences or maybe your education, put it in the first page. So the detail in the second page is might be something just further explanation of the first page. And of course, it will be depends on how many years of experience do you have. Let's say if you have already more than 20 years of experiences and also um, has been changing for more than 5 positions, I believe that it will be exceeding 2 pages of your CV.
Well, of course,
Thank
because
you.
there's a lot of
A lot of
experiences,
things,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of things
Okay.
to explain. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mbak Julie, want
Yeah.
to connect the and
Yeah.
proper to ask questions. Yeah.
So if you are connected, Rizky, if you are connecting with anyone on LinkedIn, whether it is HR or whether it is someone from technical, it's okay to build the to build the connection by you mean like asking them in mail. Yeah, so you send the message in email. I think it's okay. I got quite a lot of people who asking me about whether there is the opportunity in the workplace that I work now and previously. Yeah, and then that's okay. But for me, if I am not in the recruit, I mean like if I don't recruit it at the moment, so yeah, sometimes I reply, sometimes I don't. So if you don't get any reply, effort to build a relationship, but my suggestion you are good at and keep yourself learning something new, and then you can forward articles or video over there. And then because when you forward something in LinkedIn, your connection will see and they will see what are your interests, so you build from there, because it's not like just flip your hand, yeah, in building the relations. So but it's okay to ask something, or you ask for advice, but to ask for the opportunity, um, I guess if there is no recruitment at the moment, the answer will always be no. Yeah, if there's no recruitment. So hopefully that's answer your question.
Okay. Thank you. So I think
That's Mbak Unai.
there's still a lot of questions. So let me continue. So this is from Dandi Fadila. So dear Miss Granita and Miss Julie, could us use photograph with uniform from a company in our CV? So I guess it's a uniform from a previous company, yeah, and use it in the CV. Maybe you can, yeah. Maybe
Who?
Mbak Julie first. Okay.
For me, it's better if you use your own clothes, your own dress, something. But because using uniform from a company, it's like you are the ambassador of the company, and you want to use that applying for other company. I don't think it's quite proper, so I would suggest that you use your own clothes. Yeah.
Okay. So Mbak Granita, anything you add?
Okay, so also because the CV belongs to yourself, not the company, so better to use your own, not uniform, your own attire. So it's like the formal one. So it's not belongs to the company itself.
So, can the dress or the uniform that we use represent ourselves, or maybe you like you are the recruiters, maybe just only see the photo, the photograph. Maybe you can like see highlights that this person is like this, something like that. But
So actually, just like the usual professional attire will be better. So with the neutral tone also, the tone color of the attire itself, let's say like black or white or maybe gray. And maybe in our industry, it's not common to use tie, but it will be better to use shirt instead of t-shirt. No need to use like the very formal, but it's quite formal and sufficient enough for the CV itself.
okay, so Mbak Julie, what about batik? Is it batik okay for? Is it
Batik
batik okay
okay.
for batik? Okay.
Batik okay. I
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
batik.
Okay. Thank you. Next, this is from Samuel Samosir. So Miss Granita and Miss Juliana. So first question is, if my CV consists of 3 pages and I think it is okay, yeah. It's about the pages, yeah. I think we have already explained it, yeah. You have already explained it. So the second is, I put some course training and seminars in my CV separate part. Should I combine that together or how? Please advise. Maybe Mbak Granita first.
Okay. So actually, for all the information that you want to show, better to make it in one file only. So in one package of the CV itself, you don't have to make in a separate file. Because it will prevent you also when you are applying for a job, you can only attach one file and it's all being written in your CV or in the package of the documents that you would like to show to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mbak Julie, maybe you have anything to add?
I think I imagine that you have gone through so many courses, trainings. Yeah, it's good. But I would suggest if you apply for a position, you don't have to put all your courses or your trainings. Just put the training courses that are relevant with the position that you applied. So me too, I have going through a lot of courses and trainings, but if I want to apply for the HR, I only put the essentials one. So I need to focus and prioritize. So not all the training courses that I've been going
Okay.
through, I put in my CV. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Marcelinus, I will put you to wait. I will unmute. So maybe you can ask. Maybe you can. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity, Miss Isvihana. I would like to ask a question to Miss Juliana and Miss Granita. Well, the question is about certificate. Let's say it's a certificate of maybe attendance, maybe achievement or any accomplishment that we've made in any competition. Is it okay to attach it in our CV? Because when we are awarded with so many certificates, it will make our CV too thick and it will not following the 6-second rules, I guess. So yeah, I think that's my question. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe I think it is for Mbak Granita, ya.
Okay.
The questions, yeah.
So actually attaching the certificate is not mandatory. So you just put, from my point of view, just put the information about the training, the relevant training that you ever attended. Sometimes the company will ask about, will verify about your attendance or your certificates by asking the certificate itself why you are hired by the company. So prior to be on board, we are asking about the documents. One of them is the training certificates. So no need to attach it from beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. The next question is, I will unmute Rizky Rahmansyah. Okay, so maybe you can give us the questions.
Okay. Can you hear me, Miss?
Yes, yes.
Okay. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Rizky Rahmansyah. I'm final year undergraduate from the petroleum engineering. So thank you for the amazing amazing presentation, Miss Granita and Miss Juliana. So actually, it's my question. It's the common type of question regarding to the job application. Many of us from the fresh graduate always have an anxiety when we applied in one job, that we always think that we didn't have any experience yet. Meanwhile, most of companies require that they want to a highly work experienced employee. So my question is, from the HR view, how you can see this situation, and from we as the fresh graduate, how we can overcome this situation. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, thank you. So I think we go to Mbak Julie first for these questions.
Okay. So, sorry, can you?
Halo Mbak Julie.
Can you repeat again, Mbak Unai? What was yes? Hello, can you
Sorry.
hear me,
Okay.
Granita? Yeah.
Yes.
So sorry. Sorry, I missed the question. Can you help me to repeat the question, Mbak Unai?
Okay, wait. This risky, yeah. I think from the HR view, it's
He's a fresh graduate, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
no, it's final years. His final.
Yeah. Final year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe risky, right? Maybe you can ask again.
Yes. Oh, okay. So
Sorry.
yeah. So the question is from the HR view, actually how HR can see the situation where we as the fresh graduate have most anxiety when we applied in one job, when we think that we still didn't have any working experience yet. And meanwhile, most of companies require that they want to a highly working experienced employee. Thank you, Miss.
Okay.
Oh.
It's about
Okay.
the about the
Anxiety.
experiences. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the anxiety. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So well, actually, from my experience, yeah, Rizky, if we want to recruit someone who already have the experience, we don't call any fresh graduates. So we will have someone who has experience. But for the fresh graduates, usually because it's the opportunity for the company to do the opening and to accept the fresh graduates, because when we accept fresh graduates, it's actually so many things that you need to learn in the organization, in the company. So what you have learned in campus, maybe it's only 10% that you can bring into the organization. So if you asking about how we see your anxiety, that's why I think this is the 3C important. Yeah. First, you have to be competent, and you have to be confident. Anxiety happens because maybe you are lack of confidence. Why you are lacking of confidence? Because you are maybe less preparation. Yeah. So in order to overcome that anxiety, I suggest that you prepare yourself as you are now in final year in the university. So be prepared to go into the new world later, to work in the organization. For the experience, we know that fresh graduates doesn't have any experience unless you have experience to do internship somewhere. But what the HR would see is that your character, how you communicate, how you respond on something, how you what is it? How you communicate, how you respond on something, and how, yeah, we want to see your character. Yeah, so more to the character.
So the
That's from
management
my side.
trainee, yeah. So the management trainee is more to the character, yeah, but different from the experience
Yeah,
employee,
because we
right?
know, yeah, because we know that fresh graduates are lack of experience, and the opening happens because we want to recruit a new member that the company wants to develop. Yeah.
All right, right.
That's from
So
my side.
thank you. Miss Granita, maybe you can add something.
Okay. So actually also in the company, we have already detected a position that can be filled by fresh graduate or the experienced ones. So I believe that we have already segregated it in the beginning, which positions can be applied for fresh graduate. And of course, like Julie has mentioned, that we have to prepare ourselves better to enter the work life. So you have to prepare by filling up your experiences, maybe gaining information, or maybe attending seminar or like the professional training before entering the work life can help you to find the job easier, because this will be your strong point. And of course, as a fresh graduate, like the management trainee, we see your character, how you can blend in with the team, how you can adapt with the new situation. That's the thing that we need more in a fresh graduate, rather than about the experiences or the skill. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think this is this next question is related to the experience. So this is from Ismail Gulam Halim. I am chemical engineer graduate with 2 years experience. Some HR recruiter tell me that with that experience of that years of experience, it's still called junior staff. So his question is how much year of experience is needed to someone to be called experienced? So Mbak Granita, maybe you can.
Okay. Okay, so in some companies, I think we have different terms or definition itself for junior and also senior. Both for engineers or maybe non-engineers can be the same about the years of experience itself. Sometimes some companies are considered someone with minimal 3 years of experience as senior, but some other companies might say that 5 years will be sufficient enough to be said that this person is senior. So it depends on the company itself, the scope of the work in a company, whether you can be called as senior or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I will read some of the question from YouTube. This is from Sugeng Trio. Maybe Mbak Julie can answer this. So should we put current salary and expected salary in CV in oil and gas industry?
I don't think so. You don't need to put the current salary or expected salary in your CV if I think it's not necessary, because when you get call and then you will be asking usually by the company to fill in the candidates data, and usually in there, if they want to know your current salary and what is your expectation of salary, it will be in the next stage. So for your resume, for your CV, I don't think in this stage you don't need to put that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then another question is, I think is also for Mbak Julie. Questions from Arfan from YouTube. So what is the limit between creative or being impressive and narcissism? I think it is related to the creative that you mentioned earlier in your presentation. Okay.
What is the limit? Only sky is the limit.
So how HR divided or maybe can differentiate between the impressive and those that Arfan said, narcissism.
I think okay, this is quite a tough question, yeah, actually. So the limit between creative, you will know that someone is creative if you see the result. So there is the effort in there, or well, perhaps, for example, if I want to make my own CV video, for example, I don't know how to make it. I can ask someone to help me to do that, right? Yeah, but um, but the idea of what's the information to be put in the video should be from yourself. So it will be, I think it will be revealed when finally the next stage we have the recruiter have more conversation with the candidates. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay, thank you, Majuli.
hopefully
Maybe
it's answered. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, maybe Mbak Granita has another opinion, maybe.
Okay, so actually being creative is depends on the position that we would like to apply also. Because creative here, we can mention that I don't know what it means by creative, whether you will say something beyond what you have done, or maybe you have experience. That's something, of course, it is wrong if that is the definition of the creative itself. But being impressive, like explaining about the experience, especially the related ones in your CV, that's the thing that we are looking for. It's not narcissism actually, but as long as it is true, and it's not something that flowery or maybe cliche that I mentioned in the presentation, I think it's still okay. So being creative, but still in the corridor itself for the position that you are applying.
Okay. Okay. So what else that HR practitioner actually uh, can see when they learn about when they read the CV, and then what they see for a snap that okay, this is the right person to my company. So I think maybe you can like give us a tips.
So actually highlight about the requirements itself that is needed for the position. So let's say we need someone with 10 years of experience. You can mention it in the beginning that you have 10 years of experience, and then explain it later what kind of experiences you have. Or for a fresh graduate, you can put your GPA, because I believe that GPA will be the first screening in each company. And then after that, you can highlight about the organization, what kind of organization that you have joined. Of course, mentioning about your contribution, whether you are in what kind of position, or maybe what kind of innovation that you have given to the organization itself.
So for the fresh graduate, the GPA
Mhm.
is really important. Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
it's also answered Jocelyn Atalia questions. Yeah. So, but what about the experienced one? Because sometimes working experience related to GPA, I think maybe it's not apple to apple, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you can, yeah.
Yeah, for the experience position, of course, we're not really concentrating on the GPA unless it is one of the requirement from the company itself. But if it is not required, of course, we need more time to read the CV. We have to get through the CV about the experiences, whether it is matched with the vacant position. Especially for the same position, let's say you are looking for a reservoir engineer, and then those applicants are coming from drilling, also reservoir, or maybe process engineer. You have to short whether you can process further of course.
Okay. So Mbak Julie, maybe you can like from your perspective, HR perspective, so the GPA and the experience. So what do you see with that kind of value?
The GPA, it's not, it depends if the requirement of the position, and usually I think when I entered the oil and gas industry, they require a GPA, for the oil and gas industry. But for the experience, it's very important to elaborate your experience, especially when the experience is close to the position that required by the company. At least you can get a call first, right? Because that is the aim of you creating the impressive CV. You get the opportunity to be interviewed, to have a further discussion, and after that, of course, you have to elaborate more on your experience in the interview session. Yeah.
Mm, So
That's
interview
it
is
for me.
also one of the milestones, yeah.
Yes.
So the first one
And
is CV, and then
yes, before you get the opportunity to get interviewed, of course, you have to create a very impressive CV or your online professional presence. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
noted. So this one is questions from Daniel Orlando. I think it's already been mentioned earlier by Mbak Granita, but maybe you can like refresh it again. So what is the difference between CV and resume? Which is better if we send CV or resume or both?
Okay. The difference is about the CV is a document that explain further about your experiences, more detailed one, and resume is explaining only about the highlights of your experiences or the summary. Which one is better? For me, I better to see CV. Why? Because it is explaining more about the position and also about the responsibility that you had so far, or maybe about the training and any other informations that I need to short the CV itself. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mbak Julie, do you have the same opinion, or maybe you have another one for this? Which one do you prefer, CV or resume?
For me, it's I think it's just the istilah sama, it's the same, but I unlike Granita, I prefer the resume because I would like to understand the profile of the candidate. Yeah, the profile will be, of course, consist of what you are good at, your experience, and then what the background, educational background, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so it depends, yeah. Sometimes company needs difference need from candidate. Okay, okay. I think we have already like 2 hours discussed about this topic. So we for the conclusion. So this is the how to build a powerful CV and managing online profile presence. So I want to highlight some of the key points here. So I think we have already learned do's and don'ts and for creating a strong killer CV, right? So we have to be genuine, and we have to honest in what we are writing. And I think we are also learn how to branding ourselves online. So I think this is also important because this is also one of the opportunities for us to branding and to like get out, to have everyone knows who we are, right? Something well, more like that. So, okay. Thank you very much for Mbak Granita, Mbak Julie, for this fruitful
Thank
session.
you.
So thank you, Yatmi, Mas Yando, Pak Samsul Irham for the opportunity. So I think don't forget to fill your presentation form at Telegram, right, to get the certificate. So I think I now call the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mbak Unai. Thank you semuanya.
Thank you Mbak Unai, thank you Mbak Julie, thank you semua.
Thank you, Granita.